What's up guys, my name is Laura, welcome back to my channel. You guys know what to do by now, smash the like button and subscribe, do all the things. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the Whitsunday Islands, which were at the top of my bucket list for the longest time, and I'm so happy that I was able to go this winter, actually right before COVID hit, perfect timing, to see this magical slice of paradise. So if you're not familiar with the Whitsunday Islands, they're basically a set of islands off the east coast of Australia, and what makes them really special, because obviously there's beautiful beaches and whatnot all over the world, right, but they encompass the Great Barrier Reef, which is so beautiful, especially if you're into diving and like marine life, snorkeling. Like, it was really a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So the first and most important thing that I want to talk about is the best way to see the Whitsunday Islands. There are a couple of different options. Basically, you can take day trips or you can do liveaboards. And liveaboards are a really popular option here for reasons that I'm going to get into. Now, I had never done a liveaboard before going to the Whitsunday Islands. I had never even heard that term before. So for anybody who doesn't know, a liveaboard is basically exactly what it sounds like. It's when you live aboard a boat. So instead of like staying in your hotel and taking day trips out to the reef and out on the water and out to the beaches and the islands every day, you basically just live aboard the boat, and they basically just move you through the islands, and you'll anchor at different places each night in order to basically get the most out of your trip. And they are definitely slightly more expensive than day trips, but I think that they're provide so much more value. So basically with day trips, the average price that I was finding online was about like $175. So you get up early in the morning, you spend about 2 hours getting out to the reef or the beach or wherever they're taking you. And then you have a couple hours of exploring, and then you have to head back home, unpack your stuff off the boat, etc. With liveaboard, they pick you up once, you spend that 2 hours getting out to the islands, and you anchor there that night. Then you wake up the next morning and immediately you can do activities. Like, you can go snorkeling right away, you can go to beaches. They basically whisk you around to all these different beautiful snorkeling spots and little beaches and sandbars and things to see all day. So you don't have to waste any time getting there and back. Now, it was obviously a little bit more expensive, like I said, than day tours, but you have to consider that you don't have to pay for accommodation or food. So with liveaboards, you have a skipper who's like your captain, and then you have a first mate who basically cooks and cleans for you. So it's kind of like a more upscale experience depending on which boat you book. And it was about $325 a night. We did a 3-day and 2 nights, and honestly, I kind of wish that it was longer, even though living on a boat is a little bit rough, which I'll explain in a second. But it's definitely the most value for the money. So basically, you have the option of the day trip where you're also paying for your hotel, you're also paying for your food, or you can do the liveaboard, which just maximizes your amount of time doing activity, and all that stuff's just kind of included. So I would definitely recommend doing a liveaboard. Now, just a word of caution about the boats themselves. There's a couple different types of tours that you can book. Like, some are more like backpacker budget style, and some are more upscale, get a little bit more of a mature crowd. So the pricing that I just said, we booked a little bit more of a mature crowd of a boat. Like, we didn't really want to be in a party boat. We didn't really want to do like a super budget option. The budget options are typically like kind of like open barrack style with like bunk beds and like one shared bathroom type of a situation. And they're probably, you're going to save a little bit of money doing it that way. Whereas you can also opt to get like a private cabin, which is what we did, a private cabin with your own bathroom, etc., etc. And it's all based on the availability of what they have on the boat. So definitely look into different options, choose whatever is right for you. But if you can do a liveaboard, I definitely would do a liveaboard. The only reason that I would recommend doing like a day trip is if you're like super short on time, or you want to tag like a day trip on top of like at the end of a liveaboard if you have like a half a day to kill or something like that, because it was definitely an unforgettable experience. So let's talk about what to bring. So just going into a little bit more detail on the boat, and if you do a liveaboard, the quarters are really small. It's basically like one small tiny bunk bed. Sorry, not bunk bed, like twin beds next to each other. And it's like a tiny room. Like, there's no space to put anything down. There's no space to put bags. They don't allow rolling suitcases on the boat typically, or shoes. So don't bother bringing like a million things of shoes or whatever. Like, you really have to pack light. Like, I know people always say like, oh, pack light, just bring what you need. But like, seriously, pack light. Most of the like charter companies that you book the tours through will store your luggage for you. So just make sure that you bring like a small double bag, like duffel bag or like tote bag that you can pack up and bring out with you, and then you can leave all of your other stuff behind. But seriously, just like keep it super light, because there's like no space in those tiny rooms. Okay, so the next thing what are the prettiest locations in the Whitsunday Islands? So obviously, as you guys know, I'm a photographer. I love shooting and I love like beautiful destinations. Whitehaven Beach is famous for a reason. Like, I literally want to go back there just to take more pictures. It was so gorgeous. The sand was so white. It's 98% silicone. The United States actually imported a ton of sand from, I don't know if it was Whitehaven Beach, but I think it was, like, from the Whitsundays in general, because it's the most fine sand in the world, and they use it to build the Hubble telescope. Fun fact. So Whitehaven Beach, definitely at the top of the list. Like, make sure your cameras are charged, make sure your drone batteries are charged. You cannot take a bad picture there. It is so incredibly beautiful. The other place that I thought was really, really beautiful was Turtle Alley. Turtle Alley is well known for, like, as being a really good snorkeling spot, as its name suggests. You can see a lot of turtles there. But there is this, like, really skinny sandbar that basically goes down the middle that you see in all the fly Instagram pics of, like, somebody, like, walking down the secluded sandbar. It literally looked like it did in the Instagram pics. It was gorgeous. So I highly recommend Turtle Alley. Make sure that your tour is going there. Also, just a word of caution, in case you're like deathly afraid of sharks like I am, there was a shark attack in Turtle Alley semi-recently. It was a bunch of tourists that were there. They were wrestling around in the water, like kind of like being a little bit aggressive, and sharks are attracted to that type of splashing and activity. So definitely keep that to a minimum. Just better safe than sorry. Not saying that there's a lot of shark attacks in the Whitsunday Islands in general, but obviously you want to minimize your risk in any way you can. So another tip that the skipper actually gave me to minimize your risk of sharks is not to wear your stinger suit. So let me explain. Basically, you'll hear the locals and the Aussies there calling jellyfish stingers, right? So jellyfish are really, really common in the Whitsunday Islands and in Australia in general. It's actually a big problem there because the jellyfish are actually rather deadly. So apparently these like little tiny small jellyfish that you can barely even see, if you do get stung by one, you basically are dead within an hour. So you typically have to get like airlifted out. So everyone wears stinger suits, which are basically just like wetsuits. They're these really not fashionable head to toe. They even have like a hood that comes over your, like basically your head and part of your face, like blue nylon bodysuits, and you basically have to wear those everywhere. I mean, you don't have to, but we all opted to because obviously like no one wants to get stung by a deadly jellyfish. So that's something to keep note of. And the reason I wanted to touch on this was just as we talk about the best time to go to the Whitsunday Islands. So the Whitsunday Islands luckily is basically beach weather all year round. It's pretty moderate temperature wise, so you literally can go whenever. Obviously in Australia, if you're from the northern hemisphere like me, the seasons are reversed. So their summer is December through February and their winter is June through August. So in winter, temperatures are like in the 60s and 70s, and in the summer they're in the 70s and 80s. So like I said, it's pretty much going to be beach weather all year round. In the summer, it is a little bit hotter. So, you know, if you're kind of like sensitive to heat, keep that in mind. Most of the boats don't have air conditioning. So if you're like me and you like to sleep in like sub-zero temperatures, probably not going to be the best situation for you. Whereas in the winter, you know, you might get a little bit colder at night if you're kind of sensitive to that. Keep that in mind. A lot of people say the best time to go is in September, because it's the lowest humidity, lowest rainfall, and it's also right before jellyfish season starts. So jellyfish season is from October to May. So September might be an ideal time for you guys to go. So that's pretty much all the information I have on you. I hope that you guys get to visit this beautiful little slice of paradise one day. Good luck in your travels, and I'll see you guys in the next one.